Welcome to the first episode of Operation Curvy Calories. Hi, welcome. Curvy Calories YouTube channel.
Trigger warning, viewer discretion is advised. This video contains domestic and sexual violence. Please be advised. Please remember this is only my personal opinions on statements made by public figures and not meant to be taken seriously. Please do not send hate to anyone featured in the videos as this is for entertainment purposes only.
My first true committed relationship, I've had a lot of random relationships, don't even consider them though, but my first live-in relationship was with a girl named Cassidy. I feel very strongly about this, and I feel like it's okay for me to say her name because she's transgender now, so she's not Cassidy no longer. So I'm able to say her name because she's a once was person. Cassidy is no longer here anymore, obviously. I'm not gonna say his new name because we're talking about her. Transgender talk is too confusing, so we're just gonna leave it as that.
I find this completely uncalled for and very disrespectful. It doesn't matter if the person from your past has changed their identity, their gender, their anything. It's called respect. Respecting someone's pronouns is a must. You talk so much about not being able to be yourself, yet here you go. If you identified as a male and use he/him pronouns, but everyone still says you're a female and say her/she. You would be upset, right? Not only are you being disrespectful to Casey but to the entire transgender community, in my own opinion.
Her name was Cassidy, and it was first long distance, and I was living in Oklahoma for a bit of that time when it was long distance. By the way, she lived in Arizona, but when I first started talking to her, I was in California, but then I moved to Oklahoma. And I was going to Arizona for just a month to visit her. We were in love, thoroughly in love. We were together for, I want to say, about a year and a half before I went there and stayed with her for a month. So I was there for 2 weeks, and I called my mom and I was like, oh my God, I miss you so much, because I was living with her and my grandma at the time. And on the phone, she told me, your grandma said you can't come back to Oklahoma. You can't come live with us. And I was like, what? Where do I go? I was really scared. I had literally nowhere to live. And Cassidy's mom was pissed because I think she knew right then and there she's going to have to take on, me. Because I had nowhere to go. I didn't have a job because I was in Arizona just for a month. So I didn't have a job. I didn't have anywhere to go. I had no car. I had nothing. But Cassidy's mom let me live there, and it was a very small apartment. I'm talking I think it was 450 square feet. There were no doors. Cassidy and I ended up having to use the living room as our bedroom. It wasn't good, but I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna live with my girlfriend. I don't really know if I want to go into grave detail. We still loved each other a lot. After 6 months, we'd been together for over 2 years, and we were living together and this and that. And I noticed we started arguing a little bit more, just over stupid stuff. I could tell you that right now.
Maybe because you had no job. You had no way to support yourself. You didn't even attempt to get a job. I'm sure you didn't even help Casey's mom clean the home. Casey's mom took you in against her choice and you did nothing to help, but instead you complained about how tiny the apartment was and how you had to live in the living room. That's more than what most people have. Try and be grateful you had a place to live, food in your stomach, and clothes on your back. You are not a victim.
And I still remember the first time she ever got physical. We had a laundry room in the apartment complex we were living in, and we were walking to the laundry room, and I remember back then I would do our laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but I let Destiny do it because I trust her. But
that's funny because you didn't even do your own laundry when you were with Crystal. So you mean to say you trust Destiny more than Casey's mom? Really?
I had this weird thing with like people touching my laundry. Whatever. So, she was helping me carry, I guess, laundry to the laundry room. I don't remember really what we were arguing about, but I know it must have been something really stupid, probably about the laundry, blah, blah, blah. And she was carrying her clothes. I'm pretty sure I remember, and I was like carrying mine. And then I want to say this happened. It's been like 6, 7 years, so memories are kind of like fading here and there.
If you didn't have to think about your lie, then your memory wouldn't be so bad. Anyone that goes through domestic V doesn't ever forget. Myself included. As of today's date, it happened to me 9 years ago and I still remember it clearly. This is why people have a hard time believing you and your stories.
But I do remember us being on the sidewalk, and I remember her dropping what was in her hands, and she took me by the throat and she started yelling at me. I was like, what? And I think at the time, what shocked me the most was the fact that she was doing it in such a public place. Like, there was nobody around that I remember. And like, I was like crying. Like, she literally was having me by the throat, just like screaming at me. And then, she let go, obviously. And I think I was so shocked and so numb to the situation that I kind of just let it be. Honestly, that is the truth. I didn't ever think twice about it. Like, oh my God, is she going to start like abusing me? Nothing like that. Which is weird because of the childhood that I came from, right? But we just went on. And she never really did that again. She would randomly like pinch me if I made her really mad. And I didn't even think anything of that then either. Honestly, I didn't at all. And I want to say, we've been together for about 3 years now at this point. And I feel myself slowly, I stopped being like sexually attracted to her. I loved her though. I know that. I don't know if it was like a best friend thing, but I stopped just feeling that like connection, I guess. So,
isn't it funny how all of your relationships only last 3 to 4 years? Is it because they get tired of taking care of you all the time, or listen to all of your lies, or be the only one working to support you and your habits? Or maybe they get tired of you forcing your way into their lives and getting used by you. You're honestly such a toxic person, and we can tell just by what you say. You make yourself appear to be toxic, a user, a abuser, a liar, everything. You're the only one to blame with how your community acts towards you. It's time you take some type of accountability.
when it came to intimacy, I want to say about a little bit after like 2 years of being together, it started to dwindle. It was definitely my fault. This is when things got really bad. Ugh. I don't even know how to share this, but I'm gonna have to. Destiny knows all about this, by the way. Like, it's something like I really needed to let her know about me. Okay, so Cassidy was very sexually strived. Like, is that even a thing? I don't know. She really thought I was attractive. She really was sexually attracted to me, and she always wanted to like have sex. And I stopped feeling that for her. Like, I didn't tell her that. I would just like make up things like, oh, I don't feel good, or oh, I'm on my period, like, even though I wasn't. And just little things like that. And it made her fucking pissed. When you say no to someone, whether you've been with them for like a month or whether you've been with them for like 6 years, if you say no to a sexual act, your partner should accept that. That is where I firmly stand. But she didn't. And she would literally sit there and beg me. At first it was like cute little begs, like, oh, come on, baby, whatever. But then as time gradually went on, it became, you're gonna fucking touch me whether you like it or not. And I was like, you can't force me. And little did I know, she can.
If this happened, where was Casey's mom? You lived with them in a studio apartment, sleeping in the living room. Casey was going to school at the time and wasn't home all day, which I'm sure Casey's mom was home when Casey got home. which leaves you at home all day alone. So how did all of this unfold and happen if there was no doors and you were in the living room, which in studio apartments the living room connects with the bedroom with no wall, or at least the ones in my area? Why did you not feel comfortable with telling Casey's mom what was happening?
That's when she started punching me a lot. She would aim for my belly. I don't think she ever actually hit me in the face. Her favorite spot was my stomach. She would punch me really hard in my stomach. She'd punch me like around right here a lot. She would punch me on my arms, and she would continuously do it until I agreed to make love to her or have sex, whatever you want to consider it. So not only was I being physically abused, but I was pretty much being like raped. That is what I consider it, because I continuously would say no to her. RAPE, rain and petals, eavesdrop. I used the wrong word. Rain and petals, eavesdrop. I used the wrong word. It was such like a bad, just like a bad mixture of everything. And this would go on. This would happen probably weekly. Here are the tears. I was trying to be strong for this video. A lot of people would ask, why didn't I hit her back? Why didn't I leave her in that, in that stance? I loved her. At the time, I was confused. I didn't love her like as a girlfriend. I just loved her as a person. She was that first true relationship I was in, and we had such amazing times that I just felt like maybe one day she'll stop being like this. Maybe one day she'll stop forcing me to have sex with her. One day she'll stop hitting me. And as many times as I felt like, okay, maybe things will change, it just kept getting worse and worse after that moment. Like, not only was she hitting me because I wouldn't have sex with her, she was hitting me if I wouldn't do the dishes on time. She would push me up against counters. And one thing she never did was she never, called me names.
You sound like you're crying, or at least trying to, but where are the tears? I'm starting to get the "my dog stepped on a beef" vibes.
If, she started emotionally hurting me, then I should leave. I was just in a very unhealthy situation. And as time went on, I really wanted to leave. That was when I met Crystal online. It just kind of fatefully happened. I was not looking for a relationship. I was in a relationship. Me and Crystal became really good friends. And then I started realizing, Crystal is what I need in my life, not Cassidy. Cassidy is abusive. And not only is she abusive physically, but she's abusive, sexually. And that is not okay. And
are you sure it wasn't that Casey was unable to provide for you like Crystal could? Before you even left to be with Crystal, she was sending you money. She paid everything for you to move in with her. Or did you think we all forgot? If you really wanted to leave, why didn't you? At this point, you're in your 20s and capable of getting a job to provide for yourself. Casey was in school all day and Casey's mom was at work, leaving you completely alone long enough to get your stuff and leave the home. There are homeless shelters for women, and there is programs for people aging out of foster care. Sue, what was the problem? There's too many inconsistencies.
I remember one time particular when we weren't arguing about anything sexual or whatever. I don't remember what the argument was. I know her mom was home. Her mom was in her room, a very small apartment, so we were arguing in whispers, so she couldn't hear. But I'm pretty sure she got the gist of it, because Cassidy started hitting me really hard. It was probably one of the worst ever. And I was kind of just blocking myself, or at least trying to. And Cassidy's mom came in, and all she said is, "Cassidy, what are you doing?" And then walked away.
You mean to say Casey is punching you and beating you in front of their mom, and all Casey's mom can do is look at Casey and say, "What are you doing?" and walk away? I don't think that someone who took you in, fed you, brought you clothes, let you live in their home for free with no responsibilities, and brought anything you wanted would do that. I really don't believe that. It is very hard to believe.
Her and her mom. This was like one of the worst nights in the world. Like, I can't even. Okay, Cassidy was mad about something. She pushed me up against the counter. She got a knife and was throwing it in my face and saying she was gonna stab me. I was like, yeah, right. Like, and then she started really hitting me like in my chest and kind of like in my boobs. And Cassidy's mom came out and blamed it all on me. And then Cassidy's mom threw this like big clear ashtray right to my head.
If she threw and hit you in the head with the thick heavy glass ashtray, I'm pretty sure that you would have needed to go to the hospital. There is no way you did not have either a concussion or had your head split open from that. Why did you choose to stay? Why wouldn't you just leave? You had every opportunity to leave as you were always home alone for many hours. A lot of people would have left if they had window of time alone that you didn't, and you didn't even try.
I feel like a lot of the time, since I am a lesbian, like abusive relationships in like the lesbian community aren't as like, what's the word for it? Aren't as like, oh no, compared to like if you're in a heterosexual relationship, but it's just the same.
That is definitely a lie. It doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ+ or you are heterosexuals, if you're a man or woman, if it's your spouse, girlfriend/boyfriend, or family. It is never acceptable. Don't play that card. It is already hard enough that there are people that lie about abuse and trauma, making it hard for real victims to come forward and believed. You admitted you falsely accused Casey, and I think you owe it to not only Casey but the entire community a public apology and an explanation on why you lied. You owe that much, if anything at all. And if you see this video and get mad, I honestly don't care. Because I am a DA and SA survivor, and people like you is the reason they are scared to speak up, because the worst thing is having that happen to you and no one believing you.
And I know what is right and what is wrong. And I will learn a lot. I have learned a lot. We talk on Facebook here and there, and things are very different. And she regrets everything she did.
Going through that type of trauma, I would have never talked to them again. After everything you went through, you still chose to seek Casey out and speak with them. If all of that happened, then explain why, because we are all very confused. Hey, it's your girl CurvyCalories. Thank you again for your support and for joining me. If you want to stay connected, check out below. I put my friend code for Nintendo Switch, as well as if I reach 1,000 subscribers I'll start doing live reactions and much more. And if you like my content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you soon, my little calories.